So quick introduction, what is UpKeep? What do we do? We are essentially a mobile-first company that we've created an asset and work order management platform for blue-collar workers. So if you guys think of any organization, whether it be manufacturing, facility, even food and beverage and things like that, every company has some type of asset or equipment that they need to maintain in order to operate as a business. So our tool is a platform where they can manage and process those work orders. And for the company, they can have oversight into cost, asset health, reliability, all the things that essentially equate to driving profit for the organization. So we work for a lot of blue collar workers, people who are deskless. They don't sit in front of a computer like we do. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of people in the world right now innovating and building technology for them. So that's the gap that we're trying to fill. We give them a smartphone with our app on it, and they're able to be out in the world, turning wrenches, fixing machines. And at the click of a button, they can access everything that they need and move on with their day. So what was world like at UpKeep for the CS work prior to Totango? Well, we were using Salesforce, right? That is our source of truth, really the platform where we manage all of our business, which everyone here I'm sure is familiar with. And then to manage our CS processes, we were using TaskRay, which is a tool that lives on top of Salesforce. It's really designed for project management. So what we were trying to do is really fit a square peg into a round hole. My VP at the time, it was just him and I when we were building out the org. So there was a lot of hashing stuff together, building from scratch, breaking Salesforce, breaking process builders. It was a huge time suck. And honestly, we didn't really get the results that we wanted out of it. I was living off of 1,000 Google spreadsheets and really just losing my mind. As our team started to scale and grow, I needed to start standardizing our operating processes. I needed insight into reporting, and I needed something easy to use for my team. And TaskRay and all these other apps, it just wasn't cutting it. We just knew this wasn't going to work for us. So we decided to go on a search. So we went out and started looking at CS tools, and we had some key criteria that we wanted to make sure that we met. The first one was this tool has to integrate with Salesforce, right? That's our source of truth for the business. It needs to pull and push data in and out of that system. And it has to support our key workflows. And so our CSMs, they're responsible for a lot of things, but really if I were to bucket them into 3 key areas, it would be mitigating risk, right? Talking to customers who have low usage, who may be displaying risks that could lead to downgrade or churn. We needed to manage our renewal confirmation process, which includes email communications, prompting the CSMs to do the right outreach at the right time. We wanted a platform that had a customizable health score. So we wanted a little bit more flexibility, and ideally a platform that had the ability to create multiple health scores. And the last one, which is actually really, really important for us, is something that would support our team communication. Because the way that we talk to each other in our CS org, we try to avoid Slack as much as possible. Any key conversations regarding an account, we want to make sure we can document for future reference. So being able to mention a user in a timeline, in a touch point, in a call note, and be able to thread that conversation so it's really easily referenceable was huge, which a lot of CS tools can't do, which I was surprised by. So that was a huge selling point for us. So who did we look at? It really boiled down to 3 top contenders. We looked at Gainsight, Churn Zero, and then you guys, and we picked up right away that yes, it's very robust. It has all the bells and whistles, but it was a little bit too much for what we needed. And also the implementation timeframe was long. We also knew it required additional resources for us to manage. Most likely would require that we potentially bring in a Gainsight admin, which at the time we didn't really have the budget or resources for. I needed something I could manage on my own and build out. Churn Zero was great. It was user-friendly, easy to set up, but it almost felt a little bit too light, where I felt like maybe in the next year or 2, we would actually outgrow the system and then be on the search again for a platform that would meet our needs. And then we found you guys, Totango. And it really was kind of like the story of Goldilocks and the 3 bears and trying the 3 bowls of porridge. One was too hot, one was too cold, and one was just right. Totango was easy to use. It did all the things that we needed it to do, offered a little bit more. And I knew that my team and I would be able to manage it and use it without additional resources or having to pull in RevOps. So since deploying Totango, we've seen a lot of different business impacts. I would have to say the team adoption has been great, really right out of the gate. Our implementation manager, Jeff, he did a really great job of onboarding us and even offered, Q&A sessions after the fact, just to ensure that the launch was smooth. and the deployment was successful. And so fast forward to today, right, we're almost a year into the partnership, and we've seen a big rise in net revenue retention, which for us, and really any SaaS company, that's our North Star. We want to retain customers, and then we just want to grow that base year after year, month after month, whatever the contract term is. We've also completely moved our renewal management process within Totango, whereas before we had Pardot sending emails, we had outreach in projects that lived outside of Salesforce. It was a mess. Now everything lives in Totango, so 120 days out, 90 days out, 60 days out, automated emails are going out to the customer base. I've success placed prompting my CSMs to do their outreach, guiding them through all the steps. So being able to now have about 4 months of time before the renewal to start these conversations has been a game changer, right? Thanks to Totango supporting that process. And the last one, which I would say for my team has been the biggest win, is centralizing their to-do management.